Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video I'll take a look at the team that got me all the way up to the next rank, to the veteran rank, and I honestly went on over 10 game win streak with this team. At the end of the day I think it's a win streak of 13, which is really cool. Yeah, this team was absolutely fantastic. This is a team that built around the Pokemon Abomasnow, the Shadow Abomasnow here with the new fast move of Leafage. I thought that Ice Wind would be the ice fast move. Abomasnow is going to be the best move for this Pokemon. Apparently, based on calculations and everything I saw online as well towards it, I really kind of dug a little bit deeper towards it. Leafage is better. Leafage is better because it's better in neutral scenarios. And in those scenarios that you're always going to win anyway as an ice type, you're going to still be alright with the moves that you have. But not only this, for this team, Leafage is generally better as well, because we have two Pokemon in the back that cover the flying type Pokemon, as well as the dragon type Pokemon that you want to hit as an ice type. So we mainly use actually Abomasnow here as a grass type Pokemon. And this team was fantastic. This team was absolutely fantastic. People are completely sleeping on this Pokemon here. Like, this thing is crazy. Of course, it is crazy because it got two significant buffs. Leafage is now a Shadow Claw clone, which is fantastic. That is one more damage basically per Leafage compared to Powdersnow. Powdersnow is still a very, very good fast move that has a better offensive typing, but generally a little bit worse stats with that. So not bad to go for Powdersnow still. Powdersnow still has a lot of play. But yeah, Leafage just going to be now a Shadow Claw clone that's going to be stab on it, so like it's going to do a little bit more damage, and that's also why you're going to be able to win those neutral scenarios a little bit easier. It's just because do more damage with Leafage, and those actually apparently matter quite a lot in certain matchups. Here, I actually tried to catch the opponent off guard, but they actually called that I went for the big move there. Good job there. At the end of the day, I can just shield. I can just do a lot of damage with my fast move. I can just shield again. I should be alright here. But yeah, this Pokemon Abomasnow was fantastic. We have the Sace-Up here of our Azumarill, which we actually gonna catch the move here as well. I think we still survive it. It's going to be a resisted Weather Ball. We do. And I misclick. I click next to the move. That is really silly because it might cost us the battle here. Yeah. We're gonna be able to go for the Weather Ball now. Get the KO. In comes the Stunfisk. Get the KO again as well. This should be enough. Weather Ball got buffed as well. That's the second buff on the Abomasnow, getting 5 more damage. And with that, we're going to have another Primeape in the back that has to battle up against the Danny. So yeah, this Pokemon itself is fantastic. The team itself is fantastic. Here we have the weakness of Abomasnow being mainly Fire-type Pokemon. Double weakness. Fire-type Pokemon. We have Flying-type Pokemon. We have Bug-type Pokemon. We have Rock-type Pokemon. We have Steel-type Pokemon. Abomasnow actually has the paired single typing, I think, that has the most amount of weaknesses. Together with like something like the Tyrantas typing there of Rock and Dark has also the same amount of weaknesses as far as I know as like Abomasnow. So like the typing itself is quite bad. But actually the Pokemon that we have in the back with the typing that they have are pairing really well with our lead. Our lead of course mainly is going to be weak to those Fire-type Pokemon. What are the most common Fire-type Pokemon? Flying-type fire types. That's why the Danny actually has most of the times great coverage against the Fire-type Pokemon like the Charizard or especially the Talonflame. Of course, Azumarill has the same thing there going on for it as well, which I don't really have to tell you about. But also both of those, of course, are going to be Fairy-type Pokemon having the automatic Fighting-type resistance with it. So that's going to be cool. But also, yeah, look at this. Player coming through, not going to be enough to knock them out, because they're going to have a shield here. But fighting from the opponent doesn't really matter because I can stop out, go for the Weather Ball, knock them out here straight away, and we're going to be able to win this battle again with our Abomasnow, as the opponent has no play here against this Pokemon. But yeah, generally this team just functions perfectly together with each other. We have the big weakness of the Danny against ground-type Pokemon. We have both Azumarill as well as Abomasnow as an answer for that. Here we see, by the way, the benefit of Leafage. Leafage was just able to nearly completely destroy that Feraligatr before it was even going for a charge move, which is crazy. We were able to catch the move of Feraligatr onto the Azumarill. Azumarill can completely resist every hit from the opponent. And so you see already that this team here has a lot of times a lot of play against the most common meta Pokemon. And now I'm going to be in a position where I'm going to be able to knock them out here with an Ice Beam. And Ice Beam is again something that I actually kind of need to talk about here, because Ice Beam is the main reason why we use Azumarill as our Sace-Up. We have an Ice-type Pokemon in the lead, we have Pokemon with Ice-type coverage as a Sace-Up, and this is so amazing. We have the Weather Ball now going to come through. This is going to allow us to get that shield from the opponent, and we can shield up the next move as well here. This is going to be our Rock Tomb, and we can try our best. We're going to have the Charizard coming in, and we can go for that charge move against the opponent. The weather wall is going to get the shield, but we can even go for another hit here against them as well, which is going to be fantastic. This is going to get them super low. And look at this. We have our Azumarill. We can let the move go. But against those fire-type Pokemon, we are still going to have the Dedenne. And that is why I am so happy about this team as well. The Dedenne can cover the weakness that you have with the lead without actually even having a type that can do that for itself. It's just because of the most common secondary type of fire-type Pokemon, it's able to do what it can do here. Why is flying types so common on the fire-type Pokemon? By the way, there's going to be here as well, the first 5-0 that got me up to 2,460. So, question here. Why is it so common to have flying typing with the fire typing together? Of course, to have that 4 types weakness to rock types. Nah, just kidding. Because Mud Slap is such a big thing. Without Mud Slap, I don't think that Talonflame or the Charizard would have had as much play. But because of Mud Slap, it's the only real way of running fire type Pokemon consistently without having to worry to get found on by a Marowak or a Gastrodon. So yeah, that is the main reason why those are so common, and that's why also the Dedenne works. And so like this is kind of showcasing again that the meta is kind of very complex at the end of the day. Like different things kind of change different things in the meta, that then change different things in the meta, which is kind of funny. But this is kind of for the experimentary part of the team that got me up to veteran, and that is absolutely fantastic. And that I think I went a total of, I think I went 13-2 with this team. I think my last 2 battles with this team. It was fantastic. Like this team was absolutely fantastic. Anyway, we're gonna start now commentating towards the video, the gameplay as well, because you of course want to kind of know the in and out of this team and not just talk about the theoretical part, which I took actually quite a bit of time to try to build this team because I was like, I want to make Abomasnow work, and Abomasnow does work. So, how does this team work? We're going to have here, of course, Seiso Balzo, the Dedenne back in the back there. We're going to have the lead of the Abomasnow. Like that's all kind of what we know already. Here, by the way, if I would have went for that chart move, for that hard-hitting chart move here of the energy ball, I think I would have won this battle because the opponent no shield here. Like this, I don't have a play anymore. But yeah, good game to the opponent. I am sadly going to lose this battle here, which was not, by the way, in the order. Again, all battles are kind of randomized here in my videos all the time. That's just how the program does it. I just put them in and they're just getting randomized. That's what it is. We're going to lose this battle here. Doesn't matter because, yeah, we can just move on to the next one. I did go 2 times 5-0 with this team though, which is kind of funny. You're gonna see it here as well, me claiming 2 times the 5-0 set with this team. So like that's it for that one. This was just then for the 3rd set basically where this came in clutch there, or like this loss came from. Anyway, we're going to see here the Corviknight coming through. We're going to have the parabolic charge coming in as well. And this is going to allow us to get the damage onto them, and we're going to be able to go for the full farm down. Against this Pokemon, Corviknight came up a lot of times as a Seiso. I made a video about Corviknight Seiso as well. The video about Corviknight, but they came out after I did those battles. I did not like be like, yeah, make a video about Corviknight as a Seiso, and then they're going to counter it with my next video there as well. I see that actually a few times in my comment section. I'm not thinking like this. I know I have quite a bit of, I don't know, like impact towards the meta that is played in the GO Battle League. I'm fully aware of that. I am not abusing that power. Like, I'm not abusing that being like, yeah, I'm going to make a team here now, and I'm going to do a counter team towards that later on. I'm not doing that. That's silly. I'm a person that is very much for fair play, and I don't feel like this would be fair play, and so I'm really not into any of this kind of stuff. But I saw it in comment section before, so here's all this. Anyway, we have a Arachnid against us here. I made a big mistake there before. You saw it. I went for Weather Ball. I sure went for the Energy Ball. My bad. My mistake. I did that wrong. I am sorry for that, but that doesn't really matter because we still have a matchup here where every single hit that the opponent has, other than one charge move, which is Mirror Code, which they of course not gonna run because it's a garbage move, is going to be resisted onto our Azumarill. But also, I can use this as an opportunity to farm up energy on my Azumarill and now swap out and go for the Energy Ball now, knocking them out or getting the final shield. And yeah, as you guys see, they let the move go. Now it's their only chance. We're gonna knock them out and we win with, I think, 2 shields there. Abomasnow against Sunfisk. This is a perfect matchup. In comes Saphira. I can get a shield advantage here early. And what you will see here is, I'm not too sure if it makes sense or not, I will swap out into the Azumarill. Why? Fearow runs the move Drill Run. It is not too bad, even for the Dedenne. I would have been able to guarantee align myself with the Dedenne, but I did not want to. Because a lot of times, if you see Fearow in the Seiso position, they have another flyer that they kind of want to keep safe from electric type Pokemon. That's what I thought. That's why I decided to play it the way I did. I am going to be able to swap on onto my Abomasnow against the opponent's Stunfisk there as well. I hopefully would be able to go for a Weather Ball in time. I'm not. I should maybe even use a shield here. I am not. Actually, I'm going to take another discharge. That was risky, but it worked out. I have an energy ball that's going to knock them out if they want to let this go through, which they do. But yeah, I have Nice Beam stored. We can go for the knockout here before they even can knock me out. And also whatever they have in the back against our Dedenne, is it going to be a Pokemon we can deal with? It is not going to be the Pokemon that I expected, but at the end of the day, it's a Pokemon I can deal with. I have 2 shields left. We are facing off against a Whimsicott that goes for a Grass Knot, which is most likely their hardest hitting move there as well. Unless they're running Grass and Moonblast, which I could actually see as well. But we're going to have a Play Rough, and that's going to put them even into Parabolic Charge range. But I know that I'm going to be able to go for the Play Rough anyway. So I'm going to do that, knock them out, win the battle. And we can move on to the next opponent here. So, well, let's see what we're going to have next. We have the American lead. Of course, perfect lead. But I also don't need to keep alignment here. This is something that you kind of have to understand as well about this team. This is more, well, it has an ABB style touch to it with 2 Fairy type Pokemon in the back. And we're going to use it here as well. Against ground type Pokemon, we are actually double good against it. We have 2 great answers towards it. We're going to have the Azumarill, which you can also use here now as a swap out into the Wigglytuff. But also you have the Abomasnow. Abomasnow is a better one. Azumarill is still a very good one. Here, what I just did is I was able to get the shield from the opponent's Wigglytuff, but I also got the damage in with a Leafage, which now puts them into farm down range for the Azumarill, leaving it literally perfectly down there that we can go for the full farm down with the Azumarill, getting up all the energy here, and we are allowed now to align ourselves. And as you can see here, Mara comes in. I expected them that they're going to try to sub out of there. That's why I didn't go straight for the move, and they have the Bastion coming in next. And I know at this point, I need to keep my Dedenne healthy for the Bastion, so I'm going to use a shield here nonetheless. Doesn't matter what they're going to do. But also know that they are going to try to force me out of this matchup again by going into the Marowak. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for this charge move. I'm not going to go for any more charge moves. Even if they're going to go for their own one, I don't really care. But they're going to stop out of here. I can go to my Abomasnow. I can go for the charge move here. I will be able to most likely even knock them out here, which I'm not going to be able to, but now I can. And so I'm going to be in a perfect position. They're going to try to farm me all the way down. I can go still for the Weather Ball to get some damage onto them. At this point, I have a Charge Move stored on all of my Pokemon, and we're just going to go for the combo play. Here, Charge Move there. We have a Play Wave coming through, and I have another Charge Move stored on my Dedenne. And with that, we are going to be able to win this battle no matter what they want to do here. Triple Charge Move combo play. All Pokemon got to go for a Charge Move here, which is perfect. And we can move on now to the next opponent. We will face the Wigglytuff. The Wigglytuff is going to go up now here, and we're going to try our best to go for that Weather Ball later as well. It's going to allow us to hopefully get the shield or something. We do get the shield, and I saw out straight away. Again, I have, good answers against Wigglytuff. I'm not weak to Wigglytuff generally. We have an ABB style line, kinda, but I kinda want to just use my Azumarill to bait out Pokemon that I maybe don't want to face with my Dedenne. And here we're going to have a ground type that we just been able to bait out. DGSP, by the way, also shouts PvP Poke at this point. There are now basically community or editor notes towards most of the meta Pokemon, which is mostly from PvP Poke themselves. Just to give a little bit of an understanding for the Pokemon. That helps out a lot of, especially newer players, for sure with that. So shouts to that change. I feel like it's really cool. For DGSP, they said basically that DGSP is kind of dropping in the current meta. DGSP is not even I think the top 100 or something anymore. Yeah, it's a fun one there generally that this Pokemon isn't as great anymore, but it was good to bait this Pokemon out here. We're going to have the Swift coming through against us. I'm alright with that because I got out the ground type Pokemon. I just hope it's not double ground. If it's double ground, I'm going to be screwed here. I'm going to use a shield. It's Icy one coming in. I am debuffed now with my attack, and we saw already the third again. Never mind. We already knew this, I think, at this point. The move is coming through here. We are going to be able to go for even another Parabolic Charge. We had +2. That's going to be a good game, right? Even if this is going to not knock them out, which it doesn't, I'm going to be able to win this battle. And we can move on to the second class opponent for today. And this is a funny thing. They go stop out of here into the Corviknight, but I have good answers against the Altaria with all of my Pokemon. There's not a single Pokemon that I'm worried about for the Altaria. We have an Ice type, which does double super effective damage, and we have 2 Fairy type Pokemon, which are going to be able to completely wall the opponent there. So, whatever they have in the back has to beat everything here, and so that's very unlikely, especially with the defense boost that we have here and the energy that we have already on the Dedenne as well. We are looking like we're in a very good position here. As we will see, the Corviknight goes down, we have energy, And we will face the final Pokemon, which is going to be Credilli. That is actually not really the ideal Pokemon to face, but what I can do is I can go for the Play Rough and I can swap out of here into my Abomasnow, going for those Weather Balls, getting that shield, but also I'm still pushing, of course, that Altaria with my Pokemon here. I go for the Rock Tomb, so now the Switch Clock is also unaligned, which allows me to go for a Weather Ball here now. That is going to be great for us, as we have the Weather Ball coming through. We're going to be able to just shield this move up, keep the Weather Ball, and swap out into my Azumarill in order to get the full farmland done with a bubble. As now, I'm going to be close to an Ice Beam, and as soon as we're going to hit the Ice Beam, this game is over. I have the Abomasnow. Abomasnow wins the Pitta easily against Credilli, and with that, we are going to be in a perfect position. We are just going to be able to let the move go here, and they're forced to go for another charge move here. This is the only Pokemon they have left. They have to go for another charge move here to knock me out. They don't, and with that, the Ice Beam is going to be enough to get the KO, and we can move on to the next one. Final one for today, Greninjas here, and I misplayed this battle. I will be able to misplay this battle. I got a little bit too greedy later on, but we're going to talk a little bit about it, right? We're going to be able to go for the Weather Ball here. This is going to allow us to, catch the move there as well, which is going to be great, because at the end of the day, Azumarill is going to take those hits a bit easier than a Shadow Abomasnow, especially with the IVs I have on my Abomasnow. But what we can do is we can take another hit, because I know they would have been CMP tying against me, so like we would have got to the move at the same time, and they have a higher attack stat. So for me, there was no point of going for my charge move straight away. I knew I would let the move go anyway. Now I can go for the Ice Beam, knock them out, and still have the energy for later on, which all looks really great for me so far. I can even go up against the Scissor, getting the shield here with the Play Rough, which is great. But now is where I kind of misplay. I know that the opponent has to swap out eventually into their Greninja. I know I outspeed the opponent's Scissor here, and I'm going to be able to boost myself up, and I know I'm going to get the final shield from the opponent here. So their play is that they want to force my last shield, which they're going to do now, and go then into the Greninja. I knew that. I was fully aware of that, and I wanted to take advantage of it by charging up a ton of energy. I got too greedy. If I went one fast move earlier, Dedede would have won the battle already at this point. I didn't, and so I have to play around this. I have to swap out of here, I have to catch the move onto the Azumarill. This is still not ideal. Now it's just coming through. They're going to be able to get another fast move through, so I have to go for my charge move here, otherwise I would still get to move with the Greninja, and I'm making it all so much worse for myself. But as you can see, I can still go for a charge move. They're in the yellow health, it resists the Weather Ball, but we're Shadow Abomasnow. We don't care, we can still lock them out, and this is going to be it for this video. This was such a fun team to run. I hope you have a lot of fun with this team as well. I think it's a great team to run as well. I even climbed further up now already, because my last set was also positive. I'm at like 2,550 or something like this. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye bye.